Empaths are going to create the new economy. Seriously. According to a new study by Global Market Insights, the online industry is set to exceed $375 billion, that's per year, by 2026. If you want to be part of it, listen closely as I share the best jobs for empaths in 2021 and beyond. Embracing your truth as an empath is so important, and I'm so excited for you. For more amazing content that'll give you clarity on your journey, subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell to be notified each week when I post a new video. Let's dive right in. But first, let me know in the comments if you could do anything. Pretend time and money are no object or obstacle. If you could do anything with your life, what would you do? What kind of career would light you up? Let's start manifesting it in the comments below. Earlier, I mentioned the online industry, and that was a huge clue. Working online. This is an amazing job for an empath in any career field that is possible to be done online. With the pandemic from last year, we've discovered that so many more of us than we ever thought before could actually work from home, which means that the online job market is going to be opening up huge this year. And you want to be part of it, okay? You are sensitive. You want to choose the people that are surrounding you. You want to choose your community. You want to choose your friends wisely and based on their respect of your sensitivity and your boundaries and all of these things that you are learning about as an empath. So working online really enables you to do that. You're able to stay in your own space, in your own energy while you're working for the most part, and then you're able to find meetup groups or join clubs or find Facebook groups that then align with your interests, your personality, and your purpose. So working online is the place to be for an empath. And there are many different ways to work online. You can work for someone else. So as I mentioned, there are many companies that hire online. You could be an online ESL teacher, English as a second language. You could be an online call center person. You could do all sorts of things online. But now I bet many companies are going to be hiring for remote positions. You could work as a VA, a virtual assistant for entrepreneurs or other companies. You could work as a social media manager if you have any kind of experience or interest in that field. Because as companies and businesses are moving more online, they're going to need help figuring out how to be relevant in that space. So you could work for someone else, or you could become an online entrepreneur. You could become a content creator. You could do both things at the same time. Work for someone else online while you're building your own business and passion and purpose-filled career on the side. This combination of both is really a recipe for success because it takes the pressure off of your endeavor. It takes the pressure off of your business so that you have the time to put your creativity and your passion and your love and your interest without any kind of pressure. Why work online as an empath? I already covered that a little bit, but I want to dive a little bit more deeply into that. So when you're an empath, you are very sensitive to other people's energies. You have very deep feelings, and this is not something that you need to be afraid of. It's something that you need to embrace and accept as a gift and a strength, because your intuition, your sensitivity is what enables you to be good at what you do. It's what enables you to be a really good judge of character and sense of people. And many empaths have a difficult time setting boundaries because they're so sensitive, because they want to help people naturally. And so working online really gives you, kind of forces you almost into this container where you are able to take better care of yourself and take more time to prepare and cleanse your energy after dealing with other people. You'll never hear me talk about energy protection or spiritual protection as a positive thing. And if you want to learn more about that, check out this video or this video where I talked extensively about the spiritual protection trap. Another benefit of working online is freedom of time. You will have so much more freedom, which is amazing. You'll be able to implement an exercise or movement routine that really speaks to you. It could be, running, walking. It could be yoga or dance or Pilates or anything, really. You can develop that. You can develop your own meditation practice, and you can eat healthier so you're not, tempted to go eat out with your coworkers or stop and get fast food because it's really quick. You'll be at home. You can prepare healthier meals. You'll have freedom of your time and your habits. It's so exciting. Freedom of location as well. So even if you don't want to be home, you want to be traveling, you could be anywhere in the world and be working online, right? And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to be able to travel the world and bring their laptop with them, and that brings their livelihood and the thing that brings them money with them? As I mentioned, your mental and emotional health will be vastly improved by working online, and you will have time for spiritual exploration. And this is something that is really, really exciting and important for an empath, because as an empath, you are coming into this life already switched on in your intuition, already aware that there is something else beyond the mundane, the material human experience. And so with this freedom of time and with the ability to work online and work from anywhere, you can start to explore your spirituality. You can start to experience your spirituality in a way that feels comfortable to you and in the privacy of your own home or your own space if you're traveling. And that is super, super important, because as an empath, you have spiritual gifts. Everybody has spiritual abilities. Everybody can develop their spiritual abilities. And yet, as an empath, you already have some of those abilities switched on, which is really, really exciting. If you want to learn more about that, check out this video where I talk about the real and true, in my heart, best job for an empath, which is a light worker. This is a light worker call to action. So check that out for sure. When it comes to spiritual exploration, we really have only ever had time first for physical survival, right? So think back to before the Industrial Evolution, when people were really like living for a living, right? They really only had time and energy to focus on growing their own food and providing for their family in a physical way, in a nutritional way, in medical care, doing all the chores around the house, keeping livestock. They really were only able to focus on their physical survival, right? Then we had the Industrial Revolution and the introduction of different technologies, and now we've started to have the capacity and the time to focus on our mental health. You see so many organizations being formed and promoted that help with mental health. We talk about mental health on social media and in our conversations, in person. And this personal growth, personal development industry, right? People like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Rachel Hollis. We have the ability not only to focus on our mental health, but our emotional health as well. In the more immediate past, with more of a mass spiritual awakening in humanity, with companies like Hay House Publishing and people like Oprah being open about spirituality and her spiritual exploration, things like crystals becoming more mainstream, things like tarot cards being a lot less taboo and more accepted and widely spread throughout society. So with the introduction of this spirituality, all of these pieces starting to fit within the puzzle, right? We've got our physical, the information is out there, right? For you to master your physical health. The information and the resources are out there for you to master your mental health and your emotional health. And so now it's time in 2021 and beyond to begin to further explore our spirituality and master our spiritual health and expansion. That's something that gets me so excited. Before we move on, do you have any questions about being an empath? What do you struggle with as an empath? Is it setting boundaries, taking on people's energy, understanding your own deep feelings? As a lifelong empath, I'm happy to help in the comments below. When it comes to being an online entrepreneur and starting your own business online, it can be hard to know what to do when you've spent your entire life deciding your direction based on society's and other people's expectations and approval. I totally get that. It's almost like, when you know that you want to do something that is yours. You know that you want to make money based on your own creativity and your own skills. But what are you going to do? What's the best thing for you to do? How can you help people? Should you create a product? It's hard to really know who you are when you've spent your whole life being influenced by society and other people's opinions and approval, which is so normal. So it could take some time for you to find your way and for you to figure it out as an online entrepreneur. I've read stories and heard podcast episodes about many successful online entrepreneurs that started with a product business and then they switched to content marketing and then they switched their niche a million different times and then they finally, after years, discovered what it was that they were meant to do. And then even after that, it took several years for that thing to really get traction and get off the ground and become successful in an income replacing type of way. So don't put that pressure on yourself. And what I would say is you'll never feel more fulfilled than you do and than I do having your own business and sharing your own ideas and being all of who you are. So even if it takes 5, 7, 10, 12, 15 years to get to the point that you know is possible, that you know is your potential, why don't you just start now? It'll still be worth it because you're still going to get there in the end. You're still going to have years and years of living a completely fulfilled and purpose-filled and empowered life. So even if it takes 12 or 15 years, that's only 12 or 15 years, you're still going to get there. So you better start now to start the time ticking. As I mentioned earlier, you can get an online job working for someone else. You can create your own little social media agency or virtual assistant agency to take the pressure off of your business. You can save your money, right? So you can create an area in your budget where you're saving money for coaches and courses, online courses and one-on-one coaches that are going to serve your interests and build your online business skills. I'm telling you right now that working with someone one-on-one in a session, working with someone in a coaching situation, or taking an online course is going to speed that process up, right? So I said it could take you 15 years. If you take some online courses, you work with some one-on-one coaches, you have some one-on-one sessions, that is going to shorten that journey because those coaches, those experts, those course creators created their offerings because they want to help, their ideal clients get through the journey that took them 10 years in half the time. So that 15 years could go down to 7. That 15 years could go down to 10. If you're working with mentors and people who are authentic and who have walked the path themselves. Working for someone else is not a bad thing. If you don't feel called to be an entrepreneur, it really depends on your personality. It really depends on what you want in this life. And you could, for example, explore being an online entrepreneur and find that it's not for you, and find that working for someone else is what makes you feel more comfortable, to have that the stability or the predictability of the job. Whereas being an entrepreneur is a little more unpredictable. You're learning on your feet. You are pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone almost all the time. But it really depends on your personality. So there's nothing wrong with that. Do you have a deep hunger to create something of your own, to make a living from your own creativity? That's something you need to ask yourself. Some people excel with MLMs, multi-level marketing companies, like essential oil companies, Young Living, doTERRA. There's other companies like LuLaRoe. There's Monat or Monate. It's like a hair care and skincare product line. And some people really thrive in that environment. It's like you go into a ready-made community and you're surrounded by people who are passionate about similar things as you, and you're selling, hopefully products that are really viable and helpful to other people. And you can make a lot of money that way if you become successful that way. So you got to ask yourself this question, right? For 2021 and beyond, ask yourself, what do you really want? And are you ballsy enough to go after it? Do you believe with every fiber of your being that it could be possible? It's really, really important, and I hope that this video has inspired you. Let me know in the comments below what resonated. I have a really, really fun free quiz that I created if you would like some serious clarity and help with overcoming any self-doubt you may experience, and that is the What's Your Starseed Type quiz. So click the link in the description below this video to find out your type and start walking your path, empath. If you would like to learn more about starseeds and the Starseed mission, click here. And if you would like to liberate yourself from the spiritual protection trap, click here. Thanks so much for watching. I love you today and every day, and I'll talk to you soon.